Hello, I am your host, Jenny Oceans. Welcome to Coming Home with Jenny Oceans. This is your authority podcast when it comes all things nervous system, not for another trendy post or reel on socials. This is actual change for you to understand your nervous system, to understand why mindset alone doesn't work, why understanding that going into trauma release sessions will not change your life if you are not combining the science, the spirituality, the mindset, and the nervous system regulation. This is your podcast where you will learn and understand why your mind and your body is working in a certain way. This podcast is real, raw, and authentic with absolute authority when it comes to all things nervous system. Let's go change your life. Hello, everyone. If you are in a state of feeling a little bit of fear and scarcity right now, you're feeling a little bit worried and you're not quite sure what is going on, I'm going to record this podcast for you to make you feel a little bit more calm, connected, and safe, and give you things that you can implement right now to regulate and calm your nervous system. If you ever thought about doing any nervous system work, now is your time to do that. All right, let's go. Another episode. Let's take a nice deep breath together before we head into this beautiful episode that is going to gift you so much understanding of how your body, your mind, and your soul is working, especially in this present time where life is a little bit chaos in the world. So let's take a nice big breath in through the nose, all the way down your throat, down your chest, and down to your belly. Open up your mouth and truly exhale. Let it go. That's it. One more. Nice. Beautiful. All right. Welcome to another episode. I am very excited to be here as a nervous system professional, someone that works with helping people to regulate their nervous system to come into a present state. I feel that now more than any time ever until 6 years ago, is a really important time for me to speak up and share the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that I have that will be able to support you. It's important for me that I share this information with you. It's important for me that I am open about this and make it possible for you to access this information as it will support you and your family. Now, I am not a medical professional. I am not a politician, but I am a human being in this experience we call life. And I have I have many, many years of understanding the mind, psychology, nervous system, the body, mind, all of the things that I've studied for a very long time. And right now, it is really important for you to understand what is actually occurring. What I'm going to share with you doesn't mean that what is happening is not real. It doesn't mean that you have to believe what I'm sharing with you. But when it comes to the nervous system part, listen in and tune in. So, currently in the world, there is a lot of chaos going on, right? And it will, at one point or another, at one way or another, affect everyone, and us in Australia also, but all over the world. And I'm not saying dig your head in the sand, but I'm saying prepare yourself by regulating your nervous system, right? So your body, your mind, your soul, your nervous system, your brain is always going to try to protect you. It's its job. Your nervous system job is to protect you, right? That's its only job. Now, by protecting you, that sometimes can mean placing you in a situation that might not be healthy or ideal. But if that's how you have lived your life, that is where it's going to bring you into. And we can talk about the tall grass again. So I always talk about the tall grass. We walk the path, flatten the grass, and your mind is always going to go where is least resistance, right? Your mind is always going to go where the path of least resistance. That's where we're always going to go. Naturally, unconsciously, that's where we're going. So we have this tall grass path have been flattened, maybe by you, maybe of generations past, whatever it is, and you're just going to constantly go on that path. That is the path of least resistance. Now, also, your mind, your nervous system is there to keep you safe. So naturally, your mind become Velcro to negativity, to lower frequency activities to low frequency words. So getting sucked in. So negativity is automatically getting sucked in by you. Why? Because again, your nervous system is there to protect you. And if it sees, so here's something that is negative, whoosh, then it wants to know that to protect you from it, right? We also have to reprogram a nervous system. We have to do this. So naturally, your body, your mind, your soul are going to get attracted to negativity. And positivity is going to be like a pancake on a ceramic non-stick pan. It's just going to slide off. That is naturally what happens. That is naturally what occurs. So it is really important we understand this part. This is why the people in the world, the people that run the world, we have the television. All right, we have the television. They tell the vision. So a lot of people in the world will wake up in the morning. They will turn on the news on the TV, and negativity. Ooh, there will be a little break where they will be selling some pots and pans, right? It's a bit fun and a bit jokey, and pots and pie. Here, go buy your pots and pans. So negativity. Here, pots and pans. Let's buy pots and pans. Wobble the brain, right? And in the old days where we had newspapers, people walk out the front door and they will collect a newspaper. They will sit down and have their breakfast and their coffee, and they'll read a newspaper, again with negative news, right? Stick in. And positive things will just be like, whoosh, whoosh. For example, let's say somebody tells you that, oh, the clothes you're wearing, I don't think they're suitable for your body type. You're going to be like, oh my God, you will remember that for the rest of your life. How dare they say that? But if someone said, oh, that's a lovely dress. Oh yeah, I got it on a sale years ago. You know what I mean? Like, this is naturally what our brain is doing for us. We don't have to think about this. This is just what happens. So when we are in a state of fear and scarcity, we are not using our analytical mind. Like, your mind is just going to reaction to try to keep you safe, right? So automatically you will get into a state of fear and scarcity, panic, anxiety, and you'll be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? All of these things are happening around the world. Let me also tell you that these things have always been happening around the world. It's nothing new, you know? Since day dot, there's always been shit going around in the world, and that's just how it goes. We only get aware of it when they want us to be aware of it. I want you to understand that. Tell the vision. All right? So I want you to understand that. So when we are receiving all of this fear, we are no longer thinking with an analytical mind. We're thinking out of panic. Like, we are panicking. People going into the shops and buying all the freaking pasta, flour, toilet paper, all the shit. People go and filling up their jerry cans. I'm not saying that we're not going to get affected by this. I'm not saying that you shouldn't prepare yourself. But what I am saying is that they are purposely creating this fear for you to get stuck into the fear. Last time this happened, 6 years ago, most people moved into a really big state of fear. They agreed to things that they really didn't want to do, but they were not in a state of having an analytical mind. They just acted. They panicked. They reacted out of fear, and they agreed to things that they deep down knew they didn't want to do. And we move into a state where it's very easy for people to control us as we are in a state of fear and panic. So we are trusting that they know what they're doing and we follow along. When you're in a state of panic, it is very easy to become a follower. Yeah. So that time in the past, 6 years ago, when all of these other things occurred, many people woke up and they started to realize that what they said was safe wasn't actually safe. What they asked us to do, we didn't actually had to do. And a lot of people started waking up. Now, I'm not going to ramble on about that. The reason why I'm here is because I feel like it's my responsibility being a nervous system coach to share my knowledge and understanding with you, for you to start to implement straight away, so that you don't have to come into a state of absolute panic, so that you still can use your analytical mind and making decisions based on what is best for you and your family, and not what you get told to do. It's very important that you are understanding this. So I'm going to show a little bit on my board here at the back. If you listen to my last podcast, you would have seen this beautiful board also. We're going to speak about the nervous system and how your nervous system is working. Now, if you're just listening, I encourage you when you can to come back and watch the video as you're listening. So I'm going to draw a very, very nice house here. This is you. This is you inside of this house. Now, automatically, naturally, your body, your mind, your soul, your nervous system is going to always try to bring you home to homeostasis. This is where you want to be. This is your regulated state. And automatically, you're always going to try to come back home. Not consciously, unless you understand it, but unconsciously, you're always going to try to come back home. Now, at the ceiling here, at the top of the ceiling, is a hyper-aroused state. This is a very activated state. I want you to think anxiety, panic, stress, all of these things that are really activating, right? And on the base here, under the floorboards, we got a state of hyper-arousal. This is where I want you to visualize flat, no passion, just really numb, really, really numb. Now, people in the world always will try unconsciously. They will do it consciously, but they won't know why they're doing it. Are going to try to bring themselves home. So a lot of people are just yo-yoing back and forth to try to come home. Let's say Anna wakes up in the morning and she's under the floorboard. So she feels flat, unmotivated. She doesn't want to do anything. What does Anna do? Anna will have a coffee or an energy drink or one of them healthy gym pre-workout drinks. Take you here, or she might even have some pick me up drugs that will take her up here because she want to come closer to home. Naturally, it's like you always want to come back here. Unconsciously, you always want to come back home. So she will take all of these things to try to bring her closer to home because she's underneath the floorboards. Now, Anna is going to bring herself up to a state where she comes closer home. Now, there's some people that are up here. They live with anxiety, they live with panic, they live with absolute stress and overwhelm. It's just a lot all the time. That boiling pot in the chest is always over boiling. It's like if you ever cooked caramel sauce, it's like it's just boiling over. It's in a state up here. So let's say Emma, for example, Emma. Let's say Emma, she's up here, hopped up Mountain Dew all the time. Do you know what Emma is going to do? She's going to come home from work and she's going to have a glass of wine to take the edge off, or she's going to have a beer, or she's going to have a joint, or whatever it is she's going to do. Doesn't all have to be unhealthy. It could be people that are absolutely addicted to the gym or addicted to running. It could be anything, addicted to shopping, addicted to sex, anything that is just going to bring them home. Thing is, what happened here, these people that constantly yo-yo, and most people that are up here will then have their wine to come back down, but what happens is they continue doing this so many times, or a joint, that they just need more and they need more and they need more, and it's going to bring them down. So they're going to end up on the bottom. So now they're under the floorboards and now they need to use the pick me up to come up. And it's just this vicious cycle that just continue to go around and around and around. Now, what we want to do is that also in this home, what happens here is that this spaciousness inside of your home becomes very, very small. You no longer have space. You're like cramped up like this and you have no space to move. You are absolutely cramped up. Now, someone that regulates the nervous system don't have as big need to jump up and down. Do you know why? Instead of needing to go up and down, my pen isn't working, but this whole space becomes home. Yeah. So there's a lot more spaciousness to move inside of your body here. This is having a regulated nervous system. So what happens is when all of these things happening around the world at the moment, they are shooting arrows. Now, none of my pens are working because I cleaned the board. What's happening right now is that all over the world, they are shooting arrows of negativity. Remember, negativity stick like Velcro. I'm not saying it's not right. I'm not saying it's not happening, but I'm saying this is what's happening. all of these arrows of negativity. We're going to run out of fuel. We're not going to have any food. There's not going to be any toilet paper. The interest rates are going up. No one's going to be able to afford to live anymore. You're going to lose your job. Business is going to go to shit. Kids are going to be home from school. You're going to have restrictions. You're not going to be able to travel. Blah, 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 blah. All of these arrows are getting shot onto you with fear, with absolute fucking crippling fear, right? So if you have a dysregulated nervous system, your home is going to be like tiny and you're going to have nowhere to move. You're going to be in a state of absolute fear and panic, and you're just going to panic, react. You're not going to analyze anything. You're just going to react, right? But if we then choose to regulate our nervous system, so we're taking time to regulate our nervous system. We create all of this spaciousness here. This is home now. We have space to move. When these arrows are coming in towards you, coming in from all different ways, because it's not going to be different just because you have a regulated nervous system. The same news are still going to come and attack you. But because you have a regulated nervous system, you have spaciousness to move, you're going to analyze it. You're going to go, okay, this is the information I have received. Number one, with the regulated nervous system, you most likely are going to listen less to what's going on. That doesn't mean you put your head in the sand. It just means you're going to listen less because you are regulated, okay? And when the information comes across, you're going to analyze it and create a logical thinking when it comes to what it is that you receive. Okay, I should be a little bit prepared. I should do some studying that's outside of television, because television is only going to tell you what it wants you to know. And you're going to have a regulated nervous system. So you're going to have all of this spaciousness in here, right? So what I want you to understand is when you regulate your nervous system, you create more spaciousness inside of yourself, which gives you more time to be present because you will have spaciousness. It's going to remove sitting in this state of panic and anxiety and overwhelm. It's going to remove you from feeling flat and disconnected and lazy and unmotivated. It's going to bring you home to homeostasis, where our mind can understand things in a proper way, where you can actually analyze what is going on without just going into panic, right? So now more than any time ever before, is it super important for you to move into a state of regulation, to regulate your nervous system. When you're in a regulated state, all that negativity and Velcro that comes towards you, because you're in a regulated state, you are raising your frequency internally. You're raising your frequency. And when you're in a state of raised frequency, of high frequency, all of these lower frequencies externally won't attack you as much, because it's sort of a balance. It will sort of flush it off a bit. I'm not telling you to put your head in the sand. I'm telling you to regulate your nervous system so that you can be in a centered state when you are needing to make decisions, right? I don't want you to jump in the car to fill a car up with all the fuel and all the jerry cans and run into the shop and buy 50 packs of toilet rolls and all the flowers on the shelf, because that is acting out of panic. I don't want you to feel threatened that your business is going to go to shit, because if you are, it will. All right. I want you to regulate your nervous system, and I want you to become really resourceful and lean into the trust of yourself. They don't want us to have a regulated nervous system. They want us to be soaked up. And I actually recorded this podcast before, but it got totally interrupted. So I started again. But I was saying, on these news televisions, they tell us all the news, all the negative news. And we're like Velcro sucking it up. And then they will have a little break where they will be selling their pots and pans. And, oh, it's really funny and energetic and la, 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 wobbly with your brain a bit. And then coming back to the negative, right? And as you are in that negative state, you're in that state of just follow the sheep, put the number in, order the pots and pans. Like, they're really clever. So if you are someone that's sitting in a state and you're like, fuck, I actually don't know what to do. I feel really scared and I'm feeling very anxious and I'm freaking out slightly. I've created something for you because I feel like I need to do this. Like, I have the knowledge to teach you how to regulate your nervous system so that all of these arrows coming in don't have to affect you in the same way, giving you that spaciousness to actually be able to analyze what is going on and to do the right decision for you and your family. So I've created a 7-part mini series to regulate your nervous system. It is $7.77. You can download it and have it saved on your phone so you can listen to it at any given point in time. It is 7 pre-recorded breath works for you to regulate your nervous system. Now, in this point in time, if you are feeling anxious, please do not go and do a freaking ice bath or trauma release breath work without knowing where your nervous system is at. It can actually damage you, and I will never say this enough. It is time to regulate your nervous system. It's time to create spaciousness for you to feel still and centered and to not get sucked up into the fear. Now, I celebrate you for being here and for listening in. There's so much I want to teach you. Our membership Belonging starts in April, which is in just a few days. Belonging is a 12-month membership where every month we'll speak and specialize within a certain subject. There will be nervous system understanding. There will be your bleed cycle understanding. There will be menopause understanding. There will be low tox living understanding. There will be some mindset understanding. There's so many things to gift you the tools to start living in alignment with what's actually beneficial for your body, your mind, and your soul. This membership once a month will go live. It will be recorded. It will be teaching session for you to understand. There will also be an opening for Q&As with myself, but also by guest speakers that are the expert in their field. And inside this membership, you will also be part of the community where you can connect with like-minded women that are interested in wanting to live a life that is actually sustainable and healthy and beneficial for both themselves, their body, their mind, their soul, and their families. But this 7-part mini series for you to download, get it in your pocket now. I'll put it in the show notes below. Share with all of your friends. It is $7. It is 7 parts of short breath works for you to actually down-regulate your nervous system. Take this time right now to actually take action and focus as much on regulating your nervous system and make it as important as going to the toilet. I'm serious, guys. You do not want to fluff around with this. Because what happens is what happened 6 years ago when people were in frantic mode and they just said yes to things that they didn't want to say yes to because they were in a state of panic. They were state in survival and they were frantic and they didn't have the capacity in their mind to make an analytical decision that is actually supporting them. They just said yes because they were in a state of fear and panic. Do not repeat the same pattern. Life is all about patterns. This is a pattern. This is your opportunity to say, no, I'm not following the pattern. I'm actually going to do things differently. And if you did things differently 6 years ago, when this same scenario basically were happening, still continue to focus on your nervous system. It should always be priority in your life. All right, everyone. JennyOceans.com is where you find me, or Jenny Oceans on socials. Please share this episode worldwide with all of the people in your world. It's a matter of understanding why things is like why your mind and body is acting in a certain way. There is an explanation to all of it. And it doesn't take a lot to actually regulate your nervous system. It doesn't take a lot. You need to give it the time and you need to just trust the process, but it is not a hard job to do. All right. You can all have a very regulated nervous system and reside inside this home with a lot of spaciousness between the top and the ceiling. The floorboards and the ceiling, and to just live a life being present and connected and in alignment with what it is that you truly desire. I'm sending you so much love and light. I'm so proud of you. Please share this podcast worldwide and download that 7-part mini series and share that with friends and family to also download it. I appreciate you. You're absolutely incredible and magical. I'll see you in the next episode. Ciao.